Hello, this is National Chess Master Rats at chess.com, continuing my video series on the correspondence team match played between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 79. Our mat is dadmikeathome. He's playing against MDJMASTER, and rating advantage is kind of hard to tell. MDJMASTER's rating is going up. He was higher as 1700s, and dadmikeathome is down to low 1700s, so I'm not exactly sure where they started. But congratulations, MDJMASTER, on increasing your rating. And let's see this game. MDJMASTER did win the other game. dadmikeathome will win this. But I'm not quite sure that White should have lost this. We'll get to the critical point here in a little bit. Okay, so we have Black is willing to engage the main line of the Italian game, or Gioco Piano, but White opts for a quiet sideline, and it soon comes similar to a four knights opening. And you notice the position is entirely symmetrical. Well, one drawback with playing symmetrical chess is you can't keep it up. Eventually your opponent will play a move that you can't copy, and we'll see that in just a moment. But there's one strategic drawback with this symmetrical position, is the fact that both sides have the latent threat of crippling the opponent's pawn structure, and in some cases there's even checkmating attacks that come in. Well, I don't know why this. Yeah. Okay, I just see this arrow going pointing the bishop to C, from C4 to D4. That's not true. We're looking at knight moves to D4 combined with bishop pins, and here again, Black keeps copying, and I'm not sure if this is a wise strategy. And now comes a move that Black cannot copy. Black retreats his bishop, and you'll see why he can't copy it, because if you take, or if you play h6, all of a sudden there comes a little nasty surprise, and you're going to lose everything. Okay, so Black retreats bishop h5, and now the knight does come into d5, and pawns are going to be doubled. Okay, so I think that Black's next move is a mistake, bringing another attacker here against the pinned piece, although he does get a little bit of play here. Let's see, he throws the knight back into d4. I just don't like the idea of making unprovoked exchanges, and eventually White will be able to kick this knight out, and there's no accompanying pin because this bishop has been traded off, right? Meanwhile, White's pin is still in action, and White will succeed in doubling Black's pawns. Okay, so Black doesn't really have a good move here. If he castles, he's going to walk into some serious trouble. Here, I'll show you how it goes. Okay, takes. Now queen d2, and just to show you how this isn't forced, but let's just play a bad move for Black. Suddenly, White has irresistible threats. The threat is knight takes f6 check, king h8, and queen takes h7 mate. Looks like Black's going to have to give up his queen. So like I said, but obviously this isn't forced. I'm just saying these are some of the severities that can happen when you go into this line. Let's see what happened. Okay, took. And I didn't play queen d2. Trying to find the spot where we left off. Okay, c6. Yeah, c6. Okay. And now come the double pawns, but at least Black isn't castled into the danger that I just showed. And White's got a slight plus out of this. That's about it. And I would put the knight on e6. Well, going to get tempoed. So this knight's starting to look a little awkward over there on b5. And maybe all White needs to do to keep some kind of advantage is, let's see, get this queen into play. Well, he does get the queen into play. Maybe just kick this knight, send it back to c7, because it can't really go to e6. Although, I don't know, the knight's not really in play there. Castling kingside is a possibility. But, moving the queen out has the threatening to take a pawn. And probably at some point, white should just take that pawn and try to hold on to it. But now the queen's come off, and here I think white starts to go downhill. Black has some latent threats with the ideas of attacking the bishop and trying to cover an attack on here. But I think if white just castles kingside, he'll come out of this unscathed and will be a pawn ahead. Instead, white opts to castle queenside, hoping for some extra lines. But black just simply snatches this pawn and finds some good moves to keep it. And then the game just starts to go downhill for white. And we'll come back to this point when we see what happens. Now rook h5 is a nice little move. It provides some defense on f5. And there you have it. And now black's just a clear pawn ahead. White has a pass pawn, but it's kind of meaningless. He's not able to advance it effectively. The bishops need open diagonals to operate, and they're not there. So black slowly starting to wiggle out of this and get the better game. And getting double pawns doesn't really hurt black at all. And white's ahead in development with his rooks and all, and he's threatening to play rook takes f4, but it's black's move, and he's doing well here. And slowly but surely, black starts to outplay white. Suddenly, black's rooks are looking really good, and white's position, down a pawn with nothing to show for it. So he tries to activate the king, but black just says, no, you're not going any further. That's Gandalf saying, thou shalt not pass. Okay? All right. And again, there's no entry squares for the white king on the queen side. And black's just slowly, methodically improving his position here. Now tries to break in the center. Black pushes by. Or white pushes by. Black reinforces that pawn mass in the center. And now attacks the weakness on d3. White defends it. He prepares to put the pressure on some more. Here it comes. And now black engineers a little pawn break. f3. And after gf3, rook takes h3. That was the purpose of playing f3, was to undermine the defense of h3. White's going to lose his pawn on f3 too. So it seems. Well, let's see. Could he play f4? Well, white chose to resign here. He figures he's going to lose this pawn. It will just be two pawns. But what if he tries this? What can black do to upset the apple cart? Well, black could play e4. That exposes the pawn on d4, but I'm not sure how white assaults it. Keeps the f4 pawn weak. Let's see. Eliminates the weakness on d3. Let's see. If you take it, suddenly, this rook's getting active. I don't know. White could have played out. White could have played on, I think. Let's see. f4 seems to make sense. You can't win or draw a game if you resign, right? Make black prove it. I'm looking at something like this, going into a single rook ending, and the pawns are all on one side of the board. Black's clearly better off, but is it enough to win? And I'm not quite so sure it is. White's got we would all rather play black here, but I think black should have had to prove his win. Let's go back to this idea again. Okay, now, well, this idea doesn't work because black has two defenders on this pawn, Costs a pawn to drive the king away, which would give black a pass pawn. This might be the path to victory. Let's see. Rook e2 is stopped because you trade rooks and pick. Seems like, see. Do you pick up the pawn on f4? That's what I'm thinking. Oh wait, the pawn on c4 is hanging. So I've been missing that all along. That makes a little bit of a difference. Okay, so let's stop. Well, b3 runs into... Might run into rook c3 check, followed by putting this rook on e3. Yeah, that seems to be decisive. Play here. That stops king takes because of rook takes. No, this is no good for white. You just trade this. I think white could have played another move or two, make black prove it. And this looks clearly in black's favor, most likely a win. Yeah, like I say, make him prove it. Okay, let's go back to when white castled, because after that his game just seemed to fall apart. Now, let's just castle this side, okay? Now, what is black going to do? Well, black's kind of in a similar pickle. He can't castle queenside without losing this pawn, just as black took it here. See, here's that symmetry rearing its head. It's showing that there's possibilities for both sides. So how does black get this rook into play? Well, it not only, well, it's illegal to castle. You can't castle through check, but the whole point is that e7 is covered. You know, a natural move is to put the king on e7, but we can't do that because this bishop is in the way. I guess we could do this. Okay, now might as well take it, right? What do we got here? 7 pawns to 7. I don't see how white is any worse here, if at all. I just don't see it. He still has his outside pass pawn. Black's not generating, really can't generate anything. Well, that's white's move. Can't generate anything against on this long diagonal. I mean this open file. Okay, this puts an immediate threat on e5. And maybe white can start assaulting it. Let's see, I guess you might have to play e4. Now it's pinned, it's not going anywhere. I don't see how white's any worse for wear at all. Go ahead and play bishop here. And if you take it, you know, white shouldn't lose this position, right? There's no way white should lose this position. Black's got 2 sets of double pawns. White has a pass pawn. You know, castling was just a simple mistake that cost him the game. Anyway, that concludes this one. Thanks so much for your time. And I'm all caught up. When more results come in, there will be more videos. There's 23 games remaining in the match. Take care.